Hello, subscriber that wanted the gun stuff. Here's another one. Look at that. It's so awesome. This is a Remington 870 12 gauge pump action shotgun. This is my other one. And right here it says Remington 870. And up here, 12 gauge. GA stands for gauge. 2 3/4 or 3-inch shells. It chambers either one. Then on this side, we have Remington Arms Company, New York City. So this was a birthday present that I got in 2019. My dad got it for me. And the reason that I wanted to get this is an American classic. The police used this shotgun in their cruisers for many, many years. And then they changed over from the Remington here to the Benelli. What is it called? It's not the M4. That's a military rifle. Man, I can't believe I forgot. Maybe it is an M4 shotgun too. I'm not sure, but it's a Benelli shotgun. When I first got it, it held 4 rounds. Had a little mag cap right here, but I have since changed that. I completely voided my warranty because when you buy these new and you register your warranty, that warranty is good for anything that happens that is not done by you. So if you go make modifications to the firearm like this, you void that warranty. They will not cover any further damages to the firearm. If something goes wrong to where I can't use it anymore, I can't send it back to them and have them fix it. I'll have to just get a whole new gun. But this was introduced, the 870 was introduced in 1951. And it was used by the police for several years. I can't even recall how many years it was. And here's your magazine tube, just like the Mossberg. It runs up underneath the fore end here. And it held 4 originally, 4 in the tube, 1 in the chamber for 5 rounds. But I put this on. This is a Wilson Combat magazine extension. It's got dust on it because it's been hanging up for a long time. But it's a Wilson Combat magazine extension plus 2 rounds. So I get 6 in the tube, 1 in the chamber for 7-round capacity. And I did this because of the video game Resident Evil. First time I played that game, you get a Remington 870 shotgun to use in the game against the zombies and stuff. And I was like, oh man, I want one. Ever since I was a little kid. This one, brand new, was $320 at a gun store. And my dad helped me pay for it as a birthday gift. In 2019, it is loaded. I keep both my shotguns loaded. And there are some differences between this and the Mossberg. See, the Mossberg's elevator, the shell lifter here, stayed in the down position like this. This one stays up. And when you put your round in, you put your round on here, you push down and then forward, and it goes into the tube. But see this little lip right here? That is notorious for getting down in there and coming up and pinching your finger right here. Oh man, it's painful, man. Here's the Remington R. And then this assembly for these is a little different than the Mossberg. You take these 2 pins out. This whole trigger piece, including the elevator here, comes out. Then there's a little bar on the inside right here. Right down in there. You push that bar over this way. And then this whole piece, the action bars, and this fore end comes off. If it's not modified for this, I have to take this whole thing off first if I want to take it completely apart to clean it. Here's the bolt. The bolt on the Remington is a little different than the Mossberg. Same concept. The receiver, this part, on the Mossberg is aircraft aluminum. This one is forged steel. So it's got a good weight to it. And I know you were discussing with me recoil. That, your wife, I believe it was, shot a shotgun and she almost fell over, right? Yeah. So the Remington here, it's got some good weight to it. So it's going to tame a lot of that recoil because of this steel. The action bars are steel. Bolt is steel. Plastic. Plastic. For the stock and the forend. And shotguns, man, they are the coolest. They're fun. They're fun to shoot. They're cheap to shoot. You can get 25 rounds of 12 gauge for $5. What else was I going to say? Oh, the Mossberg has the safety on theirs right here. Safety for the Remington is right here. Right by your trigger finger. So if I click this, click, it's off of safe. Now it's back on safe. And the red means dead thing. See that red line? Red means dead. The release for the action here on the Mossberg is located right there. On the Remington, though, it's right here. This piece. You press this in, and then this will move. As of right now, it is locked. It will not move. And I have it loaded right now with Remington ammo. That's double aught buckshot. There's 9 pellets inside of this shell. That's down in here, right there. When you pull the trigger on this thing, the gases collect inside of here and push those pellets out the end of the muzzle. And man, you don't want to be in front of that. You really gonna have a bad day if you're standing in front of that. Or birdshot, the standard target or game loads you would use to hunt rabbits and stuff with. You're standing in front of that when someone pulls a trigger on you, you're in trouble. I mean, the birdshot, they may not kill you, but boy, you're going to be in some pain. You're going to be in the hospital for a little while, healing up. This is the tactical model. Here's your sight. One little silver bead, that's all you get. And then here, on the back, here's your recoil pad that says Remington. It's got a nice recoil pad on it. It's thick, but there's also no give in it. It doesn't squish in. And talking about recoil, now this one, it holds, as it says right here, 2 3/4 inch shells, which is your standard 12 gauge shell, or your 3 inch, which is what's called Magnum. On the older Remingtons, right here on where it says Remington 870, it would say Remington 870 and then have Magnum right here, which meant you had a Magnum receiver that would take the 3 inch shell. And man, this gun, the Mossberg is nice and comfortable to shoot. It doesn't kick you, it doesn't knock you around. This one, I don't know what it is. This thing will kick the daylights out of you, no matter what you put it in. And then, you were talking about, I'm talking directly to you here. You're talking about the single barrels, the single shot shotguns, and how they kick so hard. Yes, they do. Because there's a lot less mass in the receiver of it. The barrel is a lot smaller. All that weight is reduced. And there's nothing there to stop this thing from flying back when it kicks. So that's why they kick harder. Now you have those. You have the single shot, single barrel, 12 gauge. You have a double barrel 12 gauge that has 2 triggers. One right here, like a normal one, then one directly in front of it. And the way you're supposed to shoot those is 1 trigger at a time, and you fire 1 barrel with 1, the other barrel with the other. Do not ever pull both of them at the same time. You are going to dislocate your shoulder, if not break it and break your collarbone. And then they got the pump action, which I'm a fan of the pump action because they just work and they'll take anything you can put in them, any ammo you find. And then they have semi-automatic shotguns where you don't pump anything. You just simply pull the trigger, bang, 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 every how many rounds. And boy, they lay waste to your targets. Like, I shoot water jugs, I shoot Coke bottles, and I shot a PlayStation with this because it didn't work anymore. And me and my buddy were shooting, and we're like, let's go see what this thing will do to it. And I shot it with a slug, which is a 70 caliber lead ball inside of a shell right here. Right there, the little brass piece. And it hit that thing, man, and it just disintegrated it. There was nothing left of that PlayStation. I had to clean up plastic pieces and stuff out of my yard. Because, I still live at home here with my parents, and they're like, you better clean that mess up when you're done shooting that thing. But yeah, man, the recoil is pretty intense on this one. Even with the standard 2 3/4 ammo. You put them 3 inches in there, boy. I shot 5. You get 5 in a box of the 3-inch shells. I shot 5 of them back to back, and they're not meant to be shot that way. You're supposed to hunt with those. You might fire 1 to kill your target. And man, I shot 5 of them, and I had tears in my eyes. It hurt so bad. So don't do that. I wouldn't recommend it. So this is, like I said, the tactical version. They have a field model, which is the exact same gun, but it has a 28-inch barrel on it. This is 18.5. And then the stock here and the fore-end area here are wood. They're wooden. And there's not a lot of difference, really. Just looks different. And in my state, for shotguns, if you're going to hunt with one, you have to take a limiter and stick inside of your magazine here. And it comes with every, this one even came with it. It comes with every shotgun you buy. All it is a little plastic rod that goes inside the magazine and limits it to 3 rounds in the tube. Or 2 rounds in the tube, 1 in the chamber. Because that's the legal hunting requirements that we have here if you hunt with a shotgun. And what else can we say about the good old Remington? Introduced in 1951. She's been in service for a long, long time. It is still one of the most trusted shotguns you could ever buy. The Mossberg was introduced in 1962, starting with their 500 series. And it went to the military. The police didn't mess with the Mossberg. They kept the Remington until they changed over to the Benelli M4. But as I said, the military uses the Mossberg from 1981. Pretty cool. Let's see. Is there anything else? I was going to talk about something else, and it's sort of leaving me here. Oh yeah, the safety part of these, man. When you buy any firearm, for anybody out there that watches this, make sure you read what's on here. If you get a pistol, like my Glock I just showed earlier, that says 9mm, don't put anything in that except for 9mm. With these markings, 2 3/4 12 gauge, 3-inch 12 gauge, don't put anything in here that's not that. Don't put a 20 gauge shell in here. Don't put a 16 gauge shell in here. Because there are a lot of things can go wrong if you don't understand what these markings mean. Like sometimes you could get like a 40 caliber handgun will take, or a 10mm handgun will take a 40 caliber round. And you put that in there, pull the trigger, it might fire it or it might not. And if it doesn't, sometimes you'll hear the bang, but the bullet doesn't make it out of the end of the muzzle. It will be stuck inside of here somewhere. And if that happens, and you chamber another round and pull the trigger again, the whole gun explodes. And it can kill you, it can severely injure you if it doesn't kill you. So that's why I always stress, read what's on your firearm. Read what it says. It tells you what it takes and what you can shoot in it and what you can't. Now, the field models do have the chokes, like I was talking about with the Mossberg, that go in the end of the barrel. This one, I can show you. It's cylinder bore. If it took chokes, there would be threads inside of here that you screw the tube into, and it goes flush to the end of the barrel. And then the gauge thing. There are several different gauges of shotgun. The first one you will find, that's the most common, is a 410. That's the first one. My nephew's 13. He's got one. He's got a 410. He likes it a lot. And then after that is a 28 gauge. They're not used all that much anymore. They're kind of obsolete. And you can still find them, but the ammo is hard to get. I don't know why, but they don't really use them anymore. And then after the 28, you have the 20 gauge. And you can find that all day long. I've got one right here behind me. We'll do a video on that next. Then there's 16 gauge, which is also another one that's very under the radar. Like, people, you can still get them, but they're really hard to find. Ammo is really hard to come by. And then there's the good old 12 gauge. 12 gauge is the most common that you will find. And it will do anything you need to do. Hunting wise, defense wise, shooting for fun wise. And there's even some people here in America that make a living off of shooting firearms. One guy, his name is Jerry Michalek. And he shoots competition. There's all kinds of different competitions you can do with firearms. And the shotgun is used for clay shooting. That's one competition they do. And then what's called 3-gun, where you'll use a pistol for the first wave, shotgun comes for the second wave, and then a semi-automatic rifle for your third wave. Oh yeah, two other gauges I forgot to mention. The 10 gauge. That one, if you find one, just put it back on the shelf. Just put it back, man. You don't want to pick it up. You don't want to load it and stick that thing to your shoulder and pull the trigger. Because that thing is going to kick you like a mule. It'll be like walking up behind a horse and just having it just kick you as hard as it can. And then there's the 8 gauge. An 8 gauge is completely outlawed. You can't get them anymore. They're not even built anymore. 10 gauge is it's not made new and rarely found used. 12 and 20 gauge is your most popular here in America. And man, like some states, like up north, Minnesota and stuff like that, you can only hunt with a shotgun. That's their law. You can't use these hunting rifles up here because up there, everything's flat. There's no hills, there's no mountains. So the range that some of these rifles up here can reach out to, you'd end up hurting someone trying to hunt. So they want you to hunt with a shotgun. That still has decent range, but it's not going crazy far. And this double-aught buck I use here, that's good home defense. And it comes out of the end of the muzzle. The velocity is 1,300 feet per second. And that's getting down. And then when you put slugs in here, they come out at the end of the muzzle at 1,650 feet per second. I'll get my ammo out. I have ammo, all different types of shotgun ammo, and I'll kind of go over how that works. But man, it's hard to beat a shotgun. They're so much fun. They're cheap to shoot. Although buckshot's not too cheap. You pay $10 for 5 rounds in a box. I can get a box of it out. Let me grab a box here. Hold on. Here we go. This is buckshot. This is what I use in this gun. Let's open her up here. See what we got in there. Pull them out. Here we go. That's what this thing shoots. This is a 2 3/4 inch, 9 pellet, double aught buck, 2 zeros. And inside of here, your powder sits on the brass piece here. Then can you see that kind of white section right here? That is called the wad. And the pellets, there's 9 of them that sit on top of that. So when you pull the trigger and it hits this primer right here, it's going to send those pellets out, and this white piece, this right here, comes out with it. And that white piece is what makes the hole when it hits. And then there's 9 other little bitty holes, or good size holes, around that initial wad impact zone. So boy, that's why I say, man, you wouldn't want to be in front of this. You really wouldn't. I wouldn't. I mean, and people are always talking about the gun calibers and how, 22 ain't gonna hurt nobody. 9mm is not gonna hurt nobody. You don't ever hear nobody getting, volunteer to get shot with it. I know I damn sure wouldn't, man. Ain't no damn way. Because at the end of the day, getting shot's getting shot, And I'll get my other ammo out here soon, and we'll do some more ammo looking. All right, but I was gonna get a 20 gauge 870 if I could ever find one, just like this, but in 20 gauge. Maybe get the field model where it's wood and stuff. But really, I keep thinking about it, and it's like, what would I really do with it? I mean, my nephew, he likes to shoot my 20 gauge. He's not really big enough yet to handle this one. If I was gonna let him shoot a 12, I would let him shoot my Mossberg, because that's gonna be the one that he can handle good, and it doesn't kick too hard. But boy, this thing, man, it has put bruises on me, on my shoulder, and right here next to your chest, your pectoral muscle. She'll bruise you up pretty good. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. It does what it does. But it does. And if this gun is empty, if there's no rounds in here, there's a little plastic piece that's all the way up to right there. And as you eject the rounds out, they fly out of the ejection port right here. These rounds go up like this. And then they move back. Sorry. They start here and come back. And then once the last round is ejected out by moving this back, the plastic piece I put in here that came with this magazine extension is green, like a really fluorescent green, so that you can see your gun's out of ammo. There's no reason to pull the trigger again. But I'll get my Mossberg down in another video next to this one, and we'll do some comparisons. And I'll show you the similarities and the differences. But 12 gauge, there's not enough to be said about them. And people say like, oh, you don't need it. It's useless. Guns hurt people. No, they don't. But I mean, if you're going to hunt with this, you can hunt birds with it. You can hunt rabbits, squirrels. You can take anything from deer, maybe an elk, if you get the right slug in there. Bears? No. I wouldn't recommend that, because bears can move. And if you don't place that shot just right, that bear's going to get you before you get it. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. This gun's awesome. It's got some rust. You see that? And look up here on top of the top of the receiver there, you can kind of see a little bit of rusting. It's called flash rust. I don't know why, but these models, these cheaper Remington models, they like to rust up. So when I take it outside and shoot, if it's raining, I'll shoot a little bit. If it's really hot and muggy out here, all that stuff gets on here and causes it to rust. And I have to take wipes, oil wipes, and wipe it down to take all that rust off. But that's really the only issue this gun's ever gave me. It shoots every time I pull the trigger, it shoots. And I'll go out and I'll target practice, and my neighbors hear me shooting, you know. And I have two that live above me up top of the hill there. They asked my dad, "Who's that down there shooting those guns?" That's me and my son, you know, and sounds like World War III down there. What are y'all shooting at? And I'm like, we're like, you know, we just shoot at Coke bottles and milk jugs full of water. And I've shot watermelons, I've shot cantaloupes and stuff like that. We're not shooting at people, we're just down here just having fun. It has some scuffing on it from being outside shooting. But for it to be, since 2019, it's really in great condition. It's just got dust on it because I don't get it down very much. But this is home defender number 2. If something goes wrong with my Mossberg, I got this one as a backup. Or if I'm here by myself and something goes down, something crazy, you never know. I can have one take this, I can take the Mossberg, and we'll be able to handle the threat if necessary. So, I hope you enjoyed, and the next time that your wife wants to shoot a shotgun, just let her know that, let me kind of go right here so you can see my legs. Alright, so when the shotgun kicks you in the shoulder, it's going to push you back. Keep this leg, your left leg, is going to be planted like this. Your back leg, your right leg, you're going to want to keep behind you a little bit. And then when it kicks you back, all your weight is going to go back on your right leg. And then it'll kick you back, and then when it finishes, it's going to come back forward. You can get right back on target. It won't knock you around as much. Hold it tight to your shoulder with this part going right into the soft spot in your shoulder. And, you know, when you grip the stock, don't squeeze the hell out of it. Just hold it firmly. Because if you squeeze really hard and you tense up, you're going to take all that force on you. But if you just, like a firm handshake, you know, just grip it about like that, it's going to hit you, kind of move you back a little bit, and you'll come right back forward and be right back on target. And it won't knock you around as much. And keep, just shoot like game loads, or what they call bird shot. We'll get some of that out and in another video, and I'll show you what I mean. So I hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching, and thank you for requesting these videos. I've been meaning to do some gun stuff, but I didn't think anybody'd be into it. So I appreciate the inspiration for it, and I thank you for watching them. It's awesome. And everybody out there that's watched these, I really appreciate you guys too. And take care of yourselves out here, and always be safe with your firearms, because you don't want to hurt nobody, and you don't want to hurt yourself. Take care.